Thank you all for allowing that recess for us to try to get a handle on how we're going to proceed today. Representative Weinberg, you have 7 minutes and 12 seconds remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem.
As I addressed before, prior to recognizing Representative Weinberg in the first place, I granted considerable latitude to the previous speaker. I will be granting considerable latitude to this speaker as well. Representative Weinberg.
Thank you, sir.
Representative Weinberg, please do your best to continue.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I am a freshman legislator. I've done everything in my power with every accomplishment I have achieved in the role of uplifting people of all walks of life. I want to thank the Democratic leadership first and foremost for giving leniency for this inappropriate action. And I'll be the first to admit it. I'd like to thank Minority Leader Lynch for facilitating this caucus and keeping its calm. And lastly, I'd like to thank my caucus for standing with me and the members of this body who stand with me alike. We are not enemies. And I believe more than now, it is for our constituents to see that we can get along. It took me months to convince people that the national stage, the national circus, is not in this chamber. I have called many of you true friends. We are of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different colors, different religions. Some of us don't even believe in God. And I don't care. We are of the trans community. We are of the Christian pastor community. We are Jews. We are Gentiles. We are men. We are women. This past 4 days has truly been hard because I came from a session of bipartisanship to a special session of nothing. I ask you to stand with me today. Be the example this state needs. We are sick of the division. We are not enemies. We are allowed to have different principles and different thoughts. We can come to the table together and fix the problems of the state. That is our job. Everything else is meaningless. There are atrocities being committed around the world. We all stand against them. No one in this chamber stands for genocide. I firmly believe that. No Democrat, no Republican sits in this chamber and wants genocide of people. We stand shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand with the same mission. And I ask you again today, be the example Colorado wants you to see. See the clarity of unity. Stop the division. Be willing to speak to one another in a humbled manner that makes sense. Present your arguments, negotiate, debate. That is politics. The founding fathers of this great nation that built a country for you and me built it not on the premise of Republican or Democrat. They built it on the premise of freedom for all of mankind, with the rights to protest and the rights to freedom of speech. I stand firmly behind that, and I ask you to do the same. If it is one thing you will never catch me do in this chamber, it will impugn you. I will never seek to understand your motives as malicious or hateful. And with that, I ask that you do the same for me. There is a crisis in our world today. If we do not stand as a body united, what good are we to the people we represent? This session was about business to relieve the people of a burden. And though we are concluding today again on a harmful end, I ask you to take these lessons into the session January 10th and self-reflect. We are not enemies, and we need to stop considering each other as such. The runoffs will have their say. They are allowed to do so. Bring the center back for the hope of Colorado. Colorado is begging for the division of party to stop, which is why we lead the country in unaffiliate voter. I am grateful to serve in this seat. I am grateful to serve my constituents. I'm grateful to hear your stories, to understand where you come from, what your backgrounds are, convince me why your bills are good. I only ask the same for myself, and my fellow colleagues only ask the same for themselves. We are from different walks of life, and if we don't look at that as what makes us better, then this chamber is not worth seating in. I beg and I plead that the division stop, and that we take this job to the core of the voter that will be impacted by the pieces of legislation we pass in this chamber. Bring back the sanity to politics.
Representative Weinberg, I'm sorry I did not give you a 1-minute warning. You were in the middle of a thought there, but you are about 15 seconds from being out of time.
We are the backbone of this society, and Western civilization relies on you and me being able to get along and pass good legislation. I ask you join me and my colleagues with doing so in the upcoming session. And I'm grateful for all of you, and I love you, regardless of your backgrounds and your walks of life. I respect you, I will listen to you, and I love you. Thank you.
Wow.